Good morning, guys. Good morning, crew and friends of planet Earth. That's a better start. Tim here. It's the 21st December 2022. It's early. It's quite early, so I seem a bit bleary-eyed and stuff, but I've got to go to work. Pouring concrete today, so always fun. But I had to do this one. It's going to be a fairly quick one, I would have thought. I will call it Signs of the Times, because this relates to what I'm about to talk about. So remember, it's Tim. It's just Tim here. Simplify this shit a little bit. I had to do this because of a series of experiences I've had this morning and lately, shall we say. Basically, how do I start? It's going to be a bit funny. It just is. Because I think that's the best way forward. So like I say, not trying to control anything. I'm just staying the course, going with the flow, relaxing into this wonderful state of surrender, of letting go of all expectation, but not letting go of the love, of that unconditional love, because that is the key to what we're talking about. That unconditional love is what we are developing. And I am certainly trying to develop expectations in love between humans. Endless examples of the dangers of it and the complexities and often the failure. Not saying, it's still relationships with an understanding of unconditional love, I'm sure will still have compromise and discussions and things to learn. Let's not set let's set our aim very, very, very high, but not kick ourselves too much and we have trouble attaining that, is what I'm trying to say, which would be almost part of that unconditional love, if you think about it. I mean, if God kicked us every time we fail, we'd be very bruised indeed. So there's a certain element in that unconditional love that you have to give that to yourself and to others. But it is the understanding that it exists, that there is a power flowing through every single atom of creation that links with this frequency. Anyway, playful. So, I need your help. I need your help deciphering the language of this playfulness that I am learning. I mean, the experiences, well, I'm going to bring you up to date with a couple of my experiences. We'll start with the wild bird. A few days ago, I think it was, maybe 4, I was in a beautiful experience with the wild bird. And like I said, she's tricky, trying to work out what she's trying to say and what she's trying to mean. These experiences have a language of their own, which I'm attempting to learn and attempting to get some help, perhaps, from you, my friends. See if you can work it out. So the other day, I was with Wildbird, and we were sat at a table, and there were other people around the table and stuff. And it was, sort of prolonged. I like these longer and longer experiences where I remain. Like I say, she's always tricky. I'm always aware of her, but she's often out of my sight, although often right with me. And I'm aware of that straight away. And I intuitively know things that go between us. But it's not until after the experience where I sort of come back down, if you like, I'm like, I was just with her. And it's so annoying because I want to know I'm with her right away. And in some, I have. And been able to just go, there we are. And I just, she'd just come in front of me now, please. Anyway, she did a bit of her tricky language. Basically, we sat at this table, and before I know it, she reaches under the table. So, and I'm a bit like, well, excited, because it's not difficult, is it, for you ladies? So as a guy, excited, but a little bit like, there are people here, what are you going to do? Because, like I say, that's not the first time. She's tricky. And anyway, reaches her hand down there. It's like, she pulls out an electric razor and shows it to me. I get somewhat embarrassed, for I don't know why. Take the razor and put it in my pocket. The experience went on to have an interaction with my stepfather, Alan, who I haven't really talked about. He's a character that's certainly going to come up in this book. He's a beautiful man. And I had a whole interaction with him and the wild bat. She was there right with me. Again, I keep thinking she's someone else and everything. It's so annoying. And that interaction went on to involve my chalet. And the fact I don't have the money to pay it, I'm about to lose it and stuff. So it taught me my relation to that, where it was like suddenly there was help coming. Alan's gonna help. And it was like, I was told this is a sign from the universe. And I was offered help. The wild bird said she could help. At which point I became defensive somehow, that it was I should be able to sort this out. And I got annoyed within the experience. And ended up, the end of the experience was me kind of untangling myself from the wild bird, because he seemed to be tangled with me. And I entangled myself, and I got annoyed with everyone. And I kind of stormed off. And that was it. And I was out of the experience. So a lot to unravel in that experience. But again, hope for me that it brings me closer to the wild bird. Not sure what the electric razor thing is about, but it brings me to the conclusion that perhaps the wild bird doesn't like furry friends. Fine. It's just fine. The facts that you were even interested got me a little bit, well, you give me hope in these funny little messages. So anyway, that was the first one. Wild bird doesn't like furry friends. Sorted. So, learning the language, you see. Then the next one was just this morning. And again, a sign. To understand all these things. Anyway, I was in a series of experiences. There have been so many over this year and so lately. It's impossible. There's so many just come and go, and I can't even begin to attempt to decipher or work out what it means. And trust that it's me getting glimpses of stuff going on a level that my conscious mind simply can't grapple with, that we are truly 5% conscious and 95% this other realm of us, this subconscious, whatever, all this jargon that, again, I can't grapple with. But it seems over all the time and so many of the experiences that there is a repeat element that makes it a far larger sign, becomes more symbolic, gets in your memory. I've had many things that just stand out and you couldn't forget them if you tried. Hence all my interactions with the wild bird, they just stand out, and many others that stand out in very particular form. This one this morning was quite relatively short and towards the end of my practice, if you like. And that again often stands out, the sort of final experience, if you like. And it was a stunning one, and has led me directly to have the kind of confidence to do this. That I want to expand my experience and my understanding and my connection with my friends. The other day, if any of you watched, I did the one about the furry friends. The dogs, the animals, loving animals. Well, just this morning I had this incredible one, which I have to take seriously on some level. Well, the level I live. And basically, there I was suddenly, and there's this kid again. And this kid turns up over and over and over again. I think he's my son, Zach, but he's kind of not. He's not the same age, and he looks different. So I've gone back and forth on this one, and yet he keeps turning up. Slightly different ages, and the symbolism of this, I take him to be, I don't know, is it my inner child, I don't know. Anyway, I always feel a great sense of protection towards him. I'm always looking for him. And in this one, he's suddenly there, coming towards me. Kind of, 5 meters away, a bit more. And behind him was a lion and a crocodile, full size, kind of doing their stuff right behind him. And he sees me, and I wasn't scared of them at all, but I was sort of like, hey, don't run, because running in front of animals and lions always seems to be not a good one. So I was like, hey, just slowly. And he just comes to me and comes behind me. And I just look at the lion, and they've come right there. And they just look at me and then turn around and just bound off, all happy. What does it all mean? Did the furry friends just bring back my inner child? Oh, I like to think of it in ways like that. So I just wanted to share 2 experiences there. One funny one with the wild bird and her type of language. And one of what I can only take as some sort of aid on this journey. I take these experiences very seriously. What I'm starting to learn is as we move into this new stage, it's a good word, that we can help. Because another set of experiences that have repeated is interactions I've had with people, my mum, many months ago, where it was like I was just suddenly with her, and I'd had a series leading up to it, where the person could just disappear. You turn your head, look back, it's gone. And I was just like, as soon as I was with her, I just grabbed hold of her arm. I went, as long as I'm touching you, and it was so I could just talk to her, we were right. As long as I'm touching you, you can't go. And I managed to extend consciously, by my awareness, I managed to extend the experience. in which I spent a bit of time with my mum talking, and in the end she's just hugging me because she went, yeah, no, you're right, as long as we're touching each other. And that was, of course, very beautiful for me. And it stuck with me. And then over the time, I've had a few more experiences, the same, where we're in an experience, in another realm with the wild bird. And I just have an innate understanding, and I've said it out loud in that experience, that, hey, we can help each other stay here, stay in this vibration. These things don't stick in my head for no reason. And I do believe this stage we're moving on to, that is so beautifully set, the backdrop is nature. The players are us all. It's the most incredible stage set you could ever imagine. And I honestly know that we can help each other stay in that realm, that we will be moving through into this together. And that help is what I am receiving and I want to learn to give. And I believe as we come closer and closer, that can be a very real, practical help. That this experience that I am learning to take more really than my daytime perceived experience can seem very spiritual in nature, but the ability to connect to it is not. It's solid, it's concrete, just like the concrete I'm about to pour today. That yes, we have a very spiritual nature, if you like. We have a lot of elements to us. But the core of the whole message and the ability of the human being, we need to bring this one down into a very practical, solid connection, not a going off in daydreams and fantasies about it. Your experience will unfold, but the ability to connect to it has got to be seen as very real. And so I wanted to share a bit with you. I've got to go to work. But anyway, furry friend Christmas, don't forget, wild bird doesn't seem to like furry friends. Oh, sure you like dogs and everything, but I guess you know what I mean, and I guess I know what you mean. So how playful can I get? Oh, I haven't started. It's just the beginning. So anyway, any help deciphering any of those little experiences would be very helpful. And I reach out. Also today, 21st of December 2018 was the first day I saw the wild bird again, really, after some time. So there's another little synchronicity, I would say, today. And I think that we can certainly take this all forward. And I'm just going to keep trying in my little ways to reach out. You know, I'm being kind of driven not to play it small. You know, I'm feel so ready to go, hey, let's do this. And yet to my practical mind, it's like, well, where, how, you know, I don't have the money. If I have money, I would just go, right, well, let's go traveling, but where? I don't want to leave the Algarve because I'm still sure she's here. But I might do a little Spanish road trip because my car's up and running. I'm earning a bit of money over Christmas. So I might take you on a little road trip to Spain. I fancy going down to Cadiz and Tarifa and have a little explore down there, have a look at Africa at least. Maybe even jump on the ferry and just go and stick my foot and step on Africa. I've never been there. A day trip to Africa, might try. But I just, so as you see, you know, I looking for a path forward. If that's tied to my expectations, then I don't really get far. Do I have the courage to take that leap of faith and trust? Yes. But I'm still a little bit like, yeah, but still where? Which way? Where do I go? Luckily, with experiences like I'm having, I continue to trust in the unfolding of just that, the clearing of my vision, the very real possibility for this veil of separation to be removed, and to trust in the process that I pray is taking me towards that and not further away. And yet I must trust this journey will be what it is. But I would love, I don't want to miss a shortcut here or there if that's all allowed. So I long and pray for some obvious door to open. And this isn't me banging on the door. This is me playfully connecting with my friends and just having a laugh, really, isn't it? Glad the lion turned away. Just took a look at me and off he went. I was like, oh, you know, that was lucky. So I take that as a good sign, I think. Anyway, look, I must go. I've got to drink some coffee and get going. But I just wanted to spend a bit of time with you and say, hey, keep going. No point giving in now. No point stopping now. Trust in the process that's unfolding. And know it is unfolding within you as much as within me. This is a very real growth if you're aligned with it. And I think it's beautiful. It takes that continued trust. Nurture your garden. Look after yourself. Take care of yourself. Take care of others. Let's start to learn how we can actually help each other stay in this, on this raft, on this table of understanding. That is the light. The light is understanding. And starting to understand the lingo a little bit better. Still love some straight talking. I've got no bother with that either. But anyway, have a lovely day. Love from Tim. Thank you.